Howdy, folks. Howdy. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. We are Black Dragon Biker TV, and this is the Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And today we are going to do our show as promised. Mike Ball asked us a question yesterday that we ran out of time to answer. And then I just started getting question after question about it. Good morning, Chucky over there in South Africa. I see you. Good afternoon, maybe to you over there. And so we're going to talk about the decision to get a motorcycle clubhouse. Yeah. A motorcycle clubhouse and what should go into that decision, and then all sorts of things about, should we be in a motorcycle club, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, should we have a motorcycle clubhouse? What goes into that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But since this was Mike's question, is he even here today? I don't see him. Dude, how are you going to ask a question and not be here for it? You suggest a show and not be here for it. Let's see. Maybe he will pop in later. We're on Monday through Friday. So today's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope God has been good to you and that your Friday is going well. As I am pulling up the notes for today's show. So we're not doing a news broadcast today, like some of you guys might have tuned in for some news. We're going to do some MC. Now, this is not really even MC protocol, but just some MC stuff. Let's see. All right. Okay. Do I have that? Yes. And I'm looking for one last thing here. All right. How do I do that? Let me see something. Something didn't go as planned, as always. All right, we'll get back to that. All right, so we want to talk about a motorcycle clubhouse and the things that go into it. And man, one thing that is incredibly upsetting is getting a motorcycle clubhouse and not really knowing what you're doing, and then having to shut that clubhouse down when all is said and done. That can really be a pain in the rump. So there's so much that goes into the decision. So for clubs that are considering this and going through this, these are my tips. And then, of course, I want to have it such that if you want to comment on this, you can. And the way we'll do that is you can also call me if you want and put your comment in. I think that might be cool. We haven't done that in a while. So, okay, I've got my phone set up now. And so if you feel like you want to call in at any time and help out with this subject, you can. So having a clubhouse is a great thing. But what Mike Ball had asked yesterday was if I could talk about the pros and cons. And one of the things he breached is if you want a clubhouse for business, why not just have the club invest in the business? So to address that just straight off the bat, if you are considering a clubhouse as a business, then it is fair. Mike has a great point. It is fair to say maybe we should consider just investing in a regular business of something else that we do well. And after we have our clubhouse discussion, you'll see. So first of all, let's get all the way down to, okay, why have a clubhouse? Why even open up a clubhouse? A clubhouse is cool. It's like having your own tree house. It gives a club an identity and a home and a place to be and a place to gather. You can have meetings there. You can have parties there. You can fellowship and hang out. You can have a place to let your hair down. Some clubhouses are just somebody's garage. Other clubhouses are very, very elaborate. In the Black Sabbath Nation, we have both. Some very elaborate clubhouses, and we have clubhouses that are really not much more than somebody's garage. Some people will do stuff like, I know there's a motorcycle club called Pound for Pound that bought a furniture store or something like that. And so if you can imagine how big that thing, they probably have one of the bigger motorcycle clubs in the country. It's a furniture store, for God's sake. And some people's clubhouses might be a tool shed in someone's backyard. Motorcycle clubs can be a home, an actual home. A lot of outlaw clubs will get an actual house and turn that into a motorcycle club. And I've heard the reasons for that are because the laws for search and seizure are different when you're talking about a house versus some sort of a public kind of building. I don't know that to be true. It's just something I heard. But for all the reasons that there are to get a motorcycle clubhouse, a clubhouse can be a pain in the rump, as well as it can be it can be both boon and curse, depending on how you operate it. Somebody right here just said the police bulldoze an HA house in Rockford, Illinois. Police bulldozed the Outlaws house in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This is just one of the cons of having a clubhouse. The cops are out of control. And so absolutely a clubhouse will attract cops. Absolutely. And even in my motorcycle club, we've been surveilled. They even put up in one of our clubhouses, the mother chapter, they put up a not more than one, but in one of our clubhouses, they put up a surveillance camera across the street and surveilled us for months and months and months in order to take us to court. We've had the city council people come after our clubhouse. And here, this clubhouse we just did a story on it 2 days ago. A clubhouse up in Michigan that they put pressure on the owners of that clubhouse to refuse to renew the lease of the motorcycle club that had been leasing from them for 13 years without consequence, without one incident. without one single solitary incident. And the landlord and the motorcycle club had an incredible relationship. And a former prospect got into a situation with someone who wasn't even in the club, and the city goes after the landlord and has the landlord refuse to renew the lease and shuts the motorcycle club down. We just did that story 2 days ago. So clubhouses will bring law enforcement. They will bring eyes. They will bring the community. And just like the vampire in the house on the hill, they sometimes will bring people that want to surround you and shut you down. They do that. This is part of owning a clubhouse. But they can build up your self-esteem and build up the ego of the club, and they can also tear y'all down. So here's how the clubhouse can tear you down. One of the negative things about getting a clubhouse is one of the quickest ways to go from a riding, traveling, hardcore road hitting MC to a bar stool MC. One of the quickest ways to do that is to get a motorcycle club, because motorcycle clubs cost money. They can be very expensive, and you may become a slave to that motorcycle club instead of riding and enjoying the MC set and what MCs do. You're in that club full time, working to keep the doors open. Then a lot of times when that happens, when a motorcycle club ain't riding together, a lot of times they're fighting against each other. And I've seen clubs break apart just because trying to keep that motorcycle clubhouse up was just too much. The other thing you have to consider is, in my experience, a lot of times I have seen 55 people, 35 people, 25 people, all members of the motorcycle club, start moaning and groaning and complaining and crying and voting, and we got to have a club. We got to have a club. You go get the club, and only 8 people are around to move anything into the club. Only 8 to 10 people are around to mow the lawn, take care of the roof, take care of the cleaning, and pay the rent. Oh, yeah. And you're like, wait, 42 people voted for this. So these are some of the things that just go wrong. Some of us are full of club members that have never paid a bill on time in their entire life. Every time it comes time to pay the dues, you get a guy, well, I can't make it this month. So if you've gotten a motorcycle club that you can just barely afford, got a clubhouse that you can just barely afford, there'll be a guy who, and you depended on this guy, part of your budget, there'll be a guy that it's late every time. He's never paid a bill on time. So every month, somebody's winding up covering his slack. Then when he does pay 4 months later, he pays his arrears. He wants to look at you and say, well, I've paid my arrears. Bro, if we took all the late fees and stuff we would have accrued and shut off notices and stuff we would have gotten waiting on your ass. So one of the first things I would say is, if you guys you're in a point where you're trying to decide, you're at a point where you're trying to decide whether or not to get a motorcycle club. And let's say you okay, we're going to get one in 6 months. I would start collecting. I would make sure that my dues collecting instrument was strong. I'm not going into getting a motorcycle clubhouse with no janky ass people who can't pay their dues on time. No, I ain't doing it. If I can't look down and see that 80 to 90%, 95% of my people are paying right and paying on time, we ain't never going to be successful at having a motorcycle clubhouse. So that's one test. The other thing is, you put yourself in a problem when you get a motorcycle club you can't afford out of your dues. And when you get a clubhouse, you can't afford out of your dues. That you must open the doors to keep the clubhouse open. That means that you're going to have to work the club. So I always say, if your dues collecting doesn't equal your rent and expenses, then you need to raise your dues or recruit more people. In this way, you can still be a riding motorcycle club and not a barstool motorcycle club. A club that's trying its best to keep the doors open. Somebody said, I seen a club go under due to a clubhouse to try to keep the clubhouse. They were charging $400 a month for dues. That's more than a bike payment. Do you know that we had a chapter, that in my own experience, we had a chapter that at one point, the membership had dipped to the point that dues were $1,000 a month to pay for the clubhouse. Yeah. These are things I've seen with my own eyes. These are things I've been a part of. I've also had a chapter where, although the entire we had a chapter with a bunch of people that just didn't pay bills right, and so, the agreement was, I don't know, $40 a month or something crazy like that. Not much, but it fell upon. This fell upon about 8 people. And so you had 8 people and they were paying about $600 a month. So the $400 a month in dues is not crazy. I've seen this happen. That you had this core group of dudes that were paying all the bills. And so, and then comes the other thing. So what are you doing to keep your clubhouse open? So some people will sell alcohol, and some people will have bike nights, and people come by for your bike night, listen to your music, buy your beers, and that can be quite that can make the club money. You have to, and in some clubs it can make really damn good money. And you're selling T-shirts and greasy chicken dinners and greasy fish dinners with French fries. These are things that people do. And a lot of money can be accumulated this way. A lot of clubs will, in a lot of places, there's places where you can have a private club, as it were, where you don't necessarily have to have liquor licenses and things like that, as long as you're operating it like a private club. And there's all kind of ways that people do that: donations and tickets and buy your own booze. There's so many different kinds of ways to do it. Most clubs don't do that right, and they kind of fly under the radar. My advice always is get your liquor licenses. Do what it takes to be licensed. Spend the money that it takes to be licensed. Work your way up to the point where you are licensed. The government treats you better, law enforcement treats you better if you're paying taxes than if you're flying under the radar. But the biggest thing about flying under the radar is the first time you run into trouble, now you have civil and criminal liabilities from folks that try to shut you down for so-called selling alcohol illegally or whatever the case may be. I've seen it where pissed off members will go and tell on you and stuff like that. Boy, everything out there. Highlander said just starting a chapter is daunting enough, let alone thinking about operating a clubhouse. Sharky Stunt says, do any MCs have any businesses beside clubhouses, like MC restaurants or MC's bar and grill, completely public, and patchers go also? Absolutely. We even have some setups like that where because a lot of times you'll find that bikers are cheap. So you set your clubhouse up to be open and make money, and you're expecting the biker community to help you out. And these guys only want to spend $1 on a beer or two. So I've known many motorcycle clubs, especially in the black community, that will have their base is the neighborhood that they're in. That's who actually keeps them floating and alive. And we've had that set up in many places where the patrons of your MC are actual real life civilians. Our mother chapter was like that for decades. The civilians in the neighborhood came in and would dance and party Friday nights and Saturday nights. And we would have hundreds and hundreds of people in the club dancing and partying and having a great time. The line would be out the door and around the corner to come in the clubhouse. And so at that point, the clubhouse was doing so well, the clubhouse took care of the club and took care of the members. We didn't even pay dues. That's a successful clubhouse. Running the business of operating a bar with food, bar, grill, etc. Clubhouses can do that. The more successful ones, like there was one here in Atlanta that was around since the 70s, well, they had their liquor license, their food license, and again, situation where it was the neighborhood that kept them alive. They didn't even survive off of motorcycle clubs. Motorcycle clubs would come in on a Friday night, pull in motorcycle clubs from all over, but the dance floor was full of civilians and people who used the motorcycle club spot as their club, their hangout. They had a bad DJ, getting paid. They had rules. They weren't letting people in under 18 and none of that stuff. Police could come in and check their licenses. Everything was up. Everything was running well. This is a club that figured it out and was running well. Let's see. These questions are coming fast. Hold on. Let me see. So to answer that question, yeah, they do. And then we had one chapter, and let's talk about businesses for a minute. We had one chapter where we had all that going on, local community, other motorcycle clubs came in. And then we had a repair shop in that chapter with a basically a 24-hour mechanic so that you could pull your motorcycle in and get it repaired. We had a lift and all those kinds of things right there in the motorcycle club. This particular motorcycle club we had was a city block and a half long. And we've had a few clubs of that size and a few chapters of that size. And so there was a whole room with a garage and everything for one of our brothers who was a mechanic. And so the club benefited by having the mechanic there because he paid rent and all sorts of stuff. And the club made money that way through his shop. And all the bike clubs would bring their bikes to the shop. And he would change the oil or whatever the case may be. people might be partying stuff and say, hey, my bike's over there. Can you change the oil? So kind of like, that's what kind of cracked me up when with Sons of Anarchy, and they had the they were actually working on cars. They actually had a car repair shop at the Clubhouse that really used to crack me up because we actually had that. Not a car repair shop, but a motorcycle repair shop. Even in my own, the Dragon's Lair, people that have been there, I have a full shop there at the Dragon's Lair. So if you're traveling and you come to the Dragon's Lair and you have a problem, now Black Dragon ain't going to be repairing your motorcycle, but I could. But when we had the East Bay Dragons come across a couple years ago, and they were on their cross country road trip, their first one, they stopped in, and they came and they hung out at the Dragon's Lair. It was just amazing to have those very old, 50-year-old plus 60-year-old motorcycle clubs, absolute legends of California. And, I come from a California club, so it was home for me. These are clubhouses I grew up in. It was amazing to have them come here to the Dragon's Lair, which is my own personal clubhouse, and hang out with us here. And we had the lift and everything, and we were able to put their motorcycles on the lift and fix them and work on them. And dang, I should have charged them so I could have made some money off of them. But, we didn't do that. Got their motorcycles up and running, and they could continue their trip. So motorcycle clubhouse, that's what it's for. Now, I remember having a motorcycle clubhouse one time, and some guys were talking about, I was like, we're not going to get that clubhouse. It's not big enough to get your motorcycle in the front door. Oh, we don't want any motorcycles in our clubhouse. So I just want to say for the record, if you can't ride your motorcycle into the clubhouse, then you don't have a motorcycle clubhouse. I don't know what you want to call a frilly little girl club. I don't know. Motorcycles belong inside the clubhouse. In fact, when you come to the Dragon's Lair, most people just ride on into the Dragon's Lair. We just ride on in and park your motorcycle in here. We're in the Dragon's Loft right now, but the Dragon's Lair, which is down below, is set up for folks to bring their motorcycles and have fun. It's a motorcycle club, right? Just starting a chapter is dawning enough. Okay, we read that. Would multi-purposing the clubhouse be viable? Say, portion a section for a club run business, laundromat, coffee shop, etc., because even ownership is regulated by zoning laws. So yeah, K. Wayne. In fact, I knew a motorcycle club house that these guys bought a multiplex thing, like a strip mall kind of thing. And so they had the motorcycle club on one part of it, and they had a laundromat on the backside of it. Not a laundromat, but a cleaning service. I don't think they actually cleaned the clothes there. I think they just took them in and sent them out. But they had these big, huge racks of clothes, like, a laundromat. You hit a button, the clothes come around. And they had a barber shop, and they had all kinds of businesses. They had a cigar shop. The first time I ever knew that you could have a cigar shop. I didn't even know that people smoked a cigar other than, at home or someplace. I didn't know there were places you could go sit down and everybody smoke a cigar like a bar. These guys had a cigar bar. So, those are parts. Those are, yes, absolutely, multi-purposing your clubhouse, if you've got business-minded people, is a smart thing to do. SSW said, people who got me started with bikes, they didn't have any bread. My motorcycle enthusiasts don't have much it's getting by. Okay, I'm not sure why I read that. I'm not sure what I was reading. Let's see. Okay. Somebody said ours is paid off from field meets, dirt drag, split and pot, etc. Split the pot, etc., and the dues. So let's talk about that for a minute. So he says his clubhouse is paid off. So one of the things that is important in having the clubhouse is, do we rent or do we buy? And my answer is you should always purchase your clubhouse. This guy said our clubhouse is paid off. We paid it off with field meets. We paid it off. Oh, heck, here it is. We paid it off with field meets, dirt drags. We split the pot, etc., and dues. They did everything it took to pay off their clubhouse. If you can get yourself in a position to buy your clubhouse, it is the best position you can be in. Because as with this chapter up in Minnesota, this club up in Minnesota, these poor fellas spent 13 years paying off somebody else's mortgage, only to have that person turn around and bail on them as soon as the city started pushing him around. You know, all landlords ain't built that way. Now the Black Sabbath, we had a problem. We did that very same thing. We paid for a clubhouse for 35 years. We rented it, and when the landlord died, we had paid for so many decades. The guys never really wanted to own it. So then, when the favorable landlord passed away, then things occurred, and we wound up losing that property, losing it. The guy should have paid for it. They should have bought that clubhouse. So if you can imagine, if you stayed in a piece of property for over 30 years, like you would have paid that mortgage 1 or 2 times. That's crazy. Don't do that. I tell all our chapters now, don't do that. Buy your clubhouse if you can. We will own our clubhouses. You should do that. You should own your clubhouses. It's the most important thing. Equity is important. Well, I was just reading some of the bigger clubs have owned clubhouses that when they bought them for $40,000, $50,000, $100,000. And the neighborhoods they bought in rebounded. So you got a piece of property you bought, and now that property is worth $800,000, $1 million. And we've seen clubs actually be able to cash in like that, move the clubhouse and go somewhere else. So you should absolutely buy your clubhouse. One thing is, if the cops start pushing on someone, they're pushing on you. They're not pushing on your landlord, who might cave in on you. You know what I'm saying? Laundromat, coffee house, add a bookstore, poetry reading, and yeah, that would be a brilliant idea. I would go there. I actually knew a motorcycle club that did have poetry readings on Sundays. They had jazz on Sundays and poetry readings on Sundays. One of our chapters used to do a jazz band, a real live jazz band on Sundays. I was considering areas of high traffic but low maintenance. Laundromats are still majorly successful endeavors. So that's okay. So I like this too. This discussion about locations. So where should you put your motorcycle club? Somebody here says, I've seen transmission shops, tattoo shops, and motorcycle repair shops out of the clubhouse. We've done that. We've had tattoo shops. I've seen that before. So where should you put your motorcycle club? it's been my experience that you want to stay as close to the ghetto as humanly possible. I don't think clubhouses do well in the suburbs. In the suburbs, you get a lot of nosy ass people that want to be in your business and calling the sheriff and all this kind of stuff. In industrial areas, after 5 o'clock, most people don't care and most people ain't there. So I like industrial areas because if you're hooting and howling till 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning, there's no one there in the industrial park to notice. And then, of course, the ghetto. Motorcycle clubs come to neighborhoods that are bad or blighted. They bring the security feature to those neighborhoods, and those folks love you and love having you there. They also don't tell on a whole lot. They're not cop callers in those kinds of neighborhoods. They go more by the street code, and they ain't trying to be in your business like that. In bad neighborhoods, people mind their business. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to be in those kinds of areas at a motorcycle club. Plus, ain't nobody fixing to mess with the motorcycle club or the people in that club's neighborhood. Just generally, that's how it goes. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? Also, you can, in our experience, those neighborhoods will also kind of protect the club. They're proud of the club being there. And somebody said you could follow the VFW model. Absolutely. Following the VFW model and how they do clubs is an absolutely great model to follow to run your clubhouse. Another thing you'll see, it's kind of funny that something we never thought we would see that's very interesting. And there's a couple folks here in Atlanta, a couple clubhouses that I saw this happen to, including a clubhouse we had here. And that is, so you move into a blighted area and gentrification takes place, especially if you're like in that area for like 30 years or something. And so it started out, you were in a hellhole and nobody cared what you did. And over 30 years, like your all black neighborhood got bought up by the white people coming back into town. And you got these people coming over to the clubhouse. So what do you guys do here? When did you move in? Look how many of y'all there are. So that's a case where like your clubhouse could like increase in significant value because the neighborhood gets gentrified. And for those of you who don't know what gentrification is, it's I don't know if I have the actual dictionary definition, but basically your neighborhood gets repurposed and rebought back into society. Let's see, gentrification definition. We'll look at that real quick so I can tell you guys what it means. Here we go.
Gentrification.
Thank you.
Gentrification.
The process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new business, typically displacing the current inhabitants in the process.
Gentrification.
And that happens to the motorcycle club. The people will come in and
gentrification
the neighborhood, and they get rid of all the poor people, and then they want to get rid of the motorcycle
gentrification
club too. Like Y'all don't belong in our neighborhood. Wait a minute. We've been here 30 years. What are you talking about? I've seen that happen to some major top 5 clubs who I've seen that happen, read about that. And I was like, yeah, I know what that one's like. So those are some ideas for you. Now, when it comes to running a motorcycle club, the other thing is that running the motorcycle club takes effort, and it takes a real strong sergeant at arms who knows how to what's that word? Delegate. Knows how to delegate and make things happen. Now, motorcycle clubs need a lot of care, and you have to do a lot of work to keep them up and running. Clubhouses. So, my goodness. So we had what is known as a duty roster. That's what we called it because we were military guys. So we had a duty roster, and the duty roster was the list of jobs that have to be done. Like the bathrooms have to be cleaned every day, and the floors mopped. There's got to be painting. There's got to be the cobwebs taken out of the corners. If you have food and liquor and things like that, you got to stock the bar. There's ice. You got to clean that stuff so you don't make people sick. There's a lot of work that has to be done. And that comes on the members. Also, if you have a clubhouse that's badass enough to hire employees, now you've got the added caveat of having to be an employer and having to follow regular, real employment laws like no sexual harassment and overtime and stuff like that. Especially when you got a bunch of drunk ass bikers that are in their own clubhouse and think that they run the world. So, you could get your club sued if you ain't doing it right. Other things you got to be concerned of is if you oversell, you sell alcohol to a minor. Not all motorcycle clubs are up on who's coming in the door. We used to be, but now you want to focus more on making money. Or she's with that girl. A couple cute girls can often get into a club anywhere. Cute girls can get anywhere. And you've got these cute underage girls, and one doesn't make it home because something happened, and her mom was trying to sue your club because she got in there and was drinking. Or somebody has a wreck on their motorcycle because they've been drinking too much. So, and they bought the drinks from your club, which wasn't supposed to be selling alcohol anyway. So a lot of liability attaches. We got sued in one of our clubs, on one of our chapters. We got sued because a lady stepped into a hole in the parking lot. She stepped into a hole and either broke or severely injured her ankle. She sued us for that. Mm-hmm. And so you need to be thinking about things like insurance, and zoning and things like that to keep the liability from hitting you personally. And so if you didn't tell the truth when you came in with your clubhouse and you didn't tell your landlord that this was actually going to be a motorcycle club, and you didn't get the right kind of insurance or whatever, you could see yourself looking real ugly when those sorts of things come about. So that's something you should be thinking about as well. I've seen something about a club over in Europe where somewhere where you can pull up into the parking garage and it is actually inside of the club. So you're in there with all the bikes. Yeah. The Dragon's Lair is like that here in Atlanta. That was always one of my dreams, was to just pull your bike into the motorcycle club house and chill, and not even get off your motorcycle. But that's the clubhouse I eventually want. Like, I want that, like, for the Atlanta chapter clubhouse to be as big as 2 furniture stores side by side or something. And you just pull in and women come up in bikinis and serve the men on the, I can't even, with stripper poles that go up to the ceiling, and the ceiling's like 60 feet tall, and the women just come down. They just, come down, and there's cabaret music, and oh my goodness. And then there's a racetrack in the middle of the clubhouse that's a 1/4 mile long, with fences around above the racetrack, and so no one could like throw a beer onto the racetrack. And the guys are doing 1/4 mile runs through the racetrack as the DJ's playing, and the girls are coming down the poles up there. And man, and then you got, stands set up along the side of on either side of the racetrack, and bridges that go over, and a big huge dance. I mean, that is the clubhouse of clubhouses, wouldn't you say? Oh man, we got to get there. So trying to catch up, see the questions. We've been around since 1965. If we disband the property and land, we'll go to a national charity. Said, okay, so I've talked to another club that's been around since 1960 something, maybe 1965. And they told me the way their thing is set up is if the club, that the club will go to the last living member. So yeah, how you guys get rid of, now, Ann Squirrely said a few years ago, Hollywood covered this topic, and his conscientiousness, his consensus, I think you're trying to say, is a clubhouse at someone's home is for wannabes. I've known a lot of clubhouses that have started in people's garages. I don't think necessarily it's for wannabes. I do think it might be for clubs that are just starting out. Anywhere you and your brothers can meet in peace and privacy is good enough to be a clubhouse. I like the commercial I saw with Flo. Remember that commercial? And her people are sitting around in a big circle, and they're having a vote for it. It's a funny commercial to me. And everybody's sitting around in a vote, and they're voting for people's names and stuff like that. But they're in their clubhouse. They found an abandoned piece of land somewhere to circle their motorcycles up and have a meeting. And if that works for you, that works for you. What I don't like is trying to meet at a restaurant or something like that. Because now people are in your business. I've had many motorcycle clubs that don't have clubhouses that have rented the Dragon's Lair. Come over here and give me a couple bucks or something, and use the Dragon's Lair to have their meetings. And I never had a problem with that. I remember when we first got started here in Atlanta, we had to. We didn't have no clubhouse. We used to go over to the James Gang clubhouse. They would let us meet at their clubhouse and have our meetings. And they would leave out so we could have our meetings in their clubhouse. We weren't wannabes. We were just getting started bees. And eventually we got our own clubhouses and stuff. So I say get in where you fit in, make it happen as you can. But what we weren't doing, we weren't sitting at, when we first got started here in Atlanta, way back, all those years ago, we were actually sitting at the something equivalent to a TGIF, and we couldn't have meetings there. There were too many people walking around. So we asked the James Gang, and they said sure. So hey, man, lots of clubs ain't got no clubhouse. It's about the brotherhood, not about the house. Say it, Black Dragon, but the boonies aren't any better. Fart in a small town. Everybody knows the exact flavor before the cheeks are done flapping. So we do we are in the boonies in a couple places, and Kay Wayne is absolutely right. The boonies can be probably worse than a nice neighborhood. He's absolutely right, man. I love this. I was going to say zoning and city ordinances. You do have to do your research. Absolutely. Morning, Rattlesnake. I used to hold Sunday morning church services out of a clubhouse after the church was sold. We had nowhere to go, and I will also always be grateful to that club. Oh, man, I will always be grateful to the James gang. And what was so cool is, we didn't always get along in our club meetings, so we're fighting each other and screaming and throwing shit around and in each other's faces and just acting ugly. And the James gang never, ever, we never heard that back on the set. Oh man, you should see how those guys were acting, and they were cool about it. They never said a word. Like, sorry, we were wrestling in your clubhouse. Oh man, that's what happens. If you have a clubhouse and it has to be in a city, if your club is filled with youngsters or else they'll never use it, the younger members use them to bring back chicks from the bar. I'm not sure I understand this. If you have a clubhouse, it has to be in the city if your club is filled with youngsters or they'll never use it. The younger members use them to bring back chicks from the bar. Yeah. If you, yeah, I think I kind of see what you're saying. Proximity is everything in what you're doing. Country or outside of city limits can be okay. Again, zoning. So a lot of a lot of people don't announce that they have a motorcycle club. They kind of sneak it in, or it's a private kind of club. A private club, you can just put it anywhere. So somebody said they're laughing at my white person voice. Was that what? You guys are cracking me up. Hey, what's up, Black Dragon? I see you. Black Dragon's getting ready to buy a new motorcycle. That's cool. Leadership and delegation, hard to balance that against ego and power mongering. Oh my goodness, man. But that's a whole nother story. What else? So I'm trying to catch up to the questions here and make sure I'm not leaving something out. I get behind on you guys. You guys have asked 100 questions since somebody said exactly. So we're back at the Hollywood stuff. Exactly. Starts in your garage, working on your bike, and other brothers start to come and hang out, or even a 15 by 15 storage shed. Absolutely. In fact, the Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club started out as brothers meeting in brothers' garages back in 1972. So I don't think you're a wannabe just because you're meeting at someone's house. You just ain't got started yet. You ain't got started good yet. Let's see. Somebody said, "Heck, we used a park before we got a club. Before we used the park before we got to use the garage." Yeah, listen, get in where you fit in. Use the park, then the garage, then maybe some other clubhouse. You're gonna get one. Don't worry, it'll come, but make sure it comes when you can afford it. Many of the old clubs met at garages, people's houses, and places where common sense said, "Hey, we can meet here without any trouble." Absolutely. Long live Casey and the Sunshine Band. Keep it coming, love. Keep it coming. Don't stop it. Yeah. That was a great band. Daryl, Hall and Oates. I don't know what brought all this up, but Hall and Oates were the bomb. Yeah, the absolute bomb. I don't know why you guys got on that, but okay. Someone says, are we going to the Apollo tonight? Yeah, they're I don't know what they're doing. Let's say, much love to you there, Phil. Appreciate you. What are the pros and cons of the clubhouse outside of the city limits? So, the more remote you can get your clubhouse, the better. So it's kind of funny to me. Like when I go to the clubs on the white set, the white dudes, especially like the 1%ers, they like that. They like that stuff out in the country, like where, like you're like, do people go out there like what the hell? One way in, one way out, long streets that end in nowhere, and you got this clubhouse that's real crazy looking back there. Like, are we gonna come out of here alive? Like, are you serious? And so, being from the inner city, our clubs were always in the inner city, so we had clubhouses in the hood. But when I deal with other sets, I notice that they have clubhouses in the country, and then of course, like the brothers would have clubs out in Alabama and stuff like that back in the hood, not in the hood, but back in the woods. So I like those clubhouses because nobody's any clubhouse that you have freedom and space around it, and you have nobody minding your business. So the pros of having a clubhouse out there is you don't have neighbors that are listening to you rev your engine all night. People don't care what you do. We have one clubhouse out in the country where we can go out and shoot our guns out in the back. Nobody's gonna know. We can go out in the back and shoot all day long. Stuff like that. Those are the pros. I suppose the cons would be that you have to get to the damn thing. I see it, big dog. I see it. You're good. Okay. Good protection. Thank you. Now sit your ass down. Okay. Thank you. Oh, you're on your job. Thank you. Come on back. Come on. I see him. You're doing good. Okay, come on back. Come on. You're taking over the show again. Come on back. I see him. Thank you. So and you're gonna sit down at the door now. The cons would be it's way the hell out there. So something like that, you have to be sure that you can pay for it without needing other people to frequent it. Another pro that I see is a lot of times those places tend to be cheaper. Like when I see our clubs in small towns, like for instance, Macon versus Atlanta, our Macon chapter has always been able to get big old motorcycle clubhouses. Whereas in Atlanta, oh my God, they want, $4,000 or $5,000 for something that you could get for $800 a month somewhere down in the country. So I think you get more cluck for your buck out there. And so it's easier for you to afford what you're doing. A lot of clubs I see out in the country like that, they don't care about the bike set. They don't care about the bike set. They don't care if you come to their clubhouse or not. They're absolutely, totally cool with hanging out amongst themselves. Like you have the Born Losers Clubhouse here in Atlanta. They're out in the country. Not so much anymore. It's like the country has caught up to them. But when I first got here, they were out in the country. They're on their own plot of land out there. Ain't nobody out there. Didn't used to be. When you guys saw me wreck my motorcycle not long ago, I was coming from their clubhouse. Now Atlanta is spreading out to them. Pretty soon they're going to be in the city. But 20 some years ago wasn't nothing out there. And they've been around, oh my God, since forever. When I first went out there, it wasn't nothing but chickens and stuff. You could hear them cock-a-doodling. So I think that would be some of the pros and cons to having a clubhouse out of the city limits. But I've seen both. We've had both. And any place you can be and have your brothers and sisters is just awesome, no matter where it is. Gio the Great said, always in the ghetto trouble. They appreciate the protection and pride in your hood. Absolutely. Hell, Mike Ball, who we made this whole video for, finally is here. Oh, but okay. All right. We accept that. Yes, I'm never late, so I don't even know what that's even about, Speakeasy style clubs do good as well, where there is a code or password style entry. Is that what a speakeasy club is? That's interesting, because when I was in the Navy, stationed in Groton, Connecticut, there was a club called Speakeasy, and it was weird how you had to get in there. That was a long time ago. I hope you're feeling better, Mike. Let's see. We have one. It's kind of country where the location is and off the road and maybe 2 or 3 neighbors. So one thing is, you can do whatever you want out there in places like that. You can shoot your weapons. You can collect a bunch of motorcycles around the place and nobody cares. Mike Ball says the best place for a clubhouse is industrial. We said that earlier. I say the hood, but industrial is a good place to be too. We said that earlier, and that's because, of course, it is, no one cares what happens after 4 p.m. Thomas Melton said, pound for pound clubhouse is badass. Am I that far behind? I have never been to their clubhouse, but I did see a video about it. It sounds like it would be when I saw the video, it looked like a bad clubhouse. Somebody said a clubhouse on the docks. That would be a cool place. The other thing is a compound. I'm glad Mike's here because he's reminding me of stuff. A compound is kind of like what I have here, surrounded by a huge fence with concertina wire over on it, and in your compound you are completely free to do whatever you want. I like that better than a storefront where you got these neighbors next to you. In your compound, you can pack the cars in or bikes in however you want, and you have distance from the people, from neighbors. So a compound is an absolute must, where your clubhouse is kind of apart from everybody, if you would, in any kind of way that you can make that happen. I much prefer those to storefronts. In a compound, you might have, apartment buildings. You might have several buildings on the compound, where you can do different things. I've seen clubs that would have a repair shop over there, a motorcycle storage area over there, various things. So compounds are totally cool. Like I say, the Sons of Anarchy, to me, that was a compound. It was real cool. I've known a lot of clubhouses to have compounds. A lot of motorcycle clubs have compounds. What else? Let's see. Oh yeah. So having your clubhouse in the country. SSW says critters after dark in the road and people riding home at night who are city folks. I can see that being a problem. So absolutely, when I left the Born Losers Clubhouse a few weeks ago, I had a great time. I hadn't been out there in a while, but they are in the country for real. So when I got over the railroad tracks in the middle of the night, and my headlight, you guys know I've been having headlight problems since I went to Tulsa a few months ago. And I finally got my headlights fixed, and what they did was they took my headlight and pointed it towards the sky. So I haven't fixed that yet. I don't know how to fix that. I got to go look at YouTube. And I got to get it pointed back to the ground, right? So I'm riding, and I didn't, because the headlight's pointing in the sky, I didn't see these boulders that they had as pebbles next to the railroad tracks. And I went to brake, and the bike went sliding. I slammed my leg into the ground. And you guys remember that video. I was hurt. I was hurt for a month or two. So yeah, being out in the country, if you're not ready for country stuff like critters in the road, a sand and stuff like that can be a problem when you got people out there riding home at night. It happened to me. But like Mike said, no neighbors, but hard for business. In your opinion, will the set ever just be the set? Will it always be the white set or black set? I believe the set will be the set, because the set was and has been the white set and black set and Hispanic set forever. And just the fact that we're all on here on a black guy's YouTube channel, when I first got started, and we're just talking 6.5, 7 years ago, people were actually coming on here talking about what is an N-word doing on a Harley. And all of you guys, and I've got now somewhere past 30 million, actually, was it 200 million once I got TikTok? Lifetime views. I got over, I think over 11, 12 million, something like that over here on YouTube, lifetime views, which means, so if I got 12 million, either 12 million people have seen me one time, or 6 million people have seen me twice, or, 3 million people have seen me 4 times, whatever the case may be. There are millions and millions and millions of people that are now being exposed to something that people never knew anything about. I've really met people 7 years ago that didn't know that there was a such thing as a black motorcycle club, or even a black 1%er. And we made the movie Biker Boys, and that really opened up a lot of people's minds. That was 20 years ago. So yeah, and then all of these people, I've had so many white clubs and white bikers, and the Black Sabbath will always be considered a black club, but we're really a mixed race club. We've always been. But because we came on the black biker set, we're known as a black club, but our white brothers don't think that they're in a black club. So I think, yeah, it's like everything else in America. You never saw black people married to white people in a television commercial, a black man kissing a white woman, or an Asian man kissing a black woman. These things never happen. They happen on television commercials every day now. Now you don't know what the hell you're going to see in a television commercial. So, yes, I think the set is getting smaller. Many of our clubs now mix with every club in the area. I can remember when we first moved to Texas. Everything we were doing was through the COC. Now there's a chain in Texas which is run by black clubs. So yeah, it's definitely going to be the set, and the set is definitely expanding. America is expanding. America is, becoming even more and more multiracial to to the chagrin of some people. They can't stand it. My brother's MC owned a triple decker in the neighborhood of Boston. A triple decker bus or triple decker brownstone or whatever you call them things there. Am I this far behind? Or are you guys just asking a bunch of questions? Out in the country, you have less profiling. You don't have the city PD coming. No, but you have the local sheriff, and they can profile just as hard. Been there, done that. Mike says, notice best for privacy. You can be loud. It's not hidden so much. You will not. You will still get business people supporting the bar, etc. As opposed to a compound out in the country, I think you're saying. Outside the city limits. I'm for the compound in the city limits. Stick a double wide out in the woods. I know clubs that do that. I know clubs that do that. Let me see. So we're at our hour. This has been fun for me to talk about this. I have a single wide for guest house and want to fix it up for seasonal bikers. I'll come stay. It's good to have an alliance with other clubs, someone says. So one thing that's really great about having a clubhouse is you can mess with the people that mess with you. So it's really much easier to have brother clubs when you have a clubhouse, because they have somewhere to come hang out at your clubhouse and you have somewhere to come hang out at theirs. I can remember when we first got our clubhouse in Atlanta, the clubs that came and hung out with us and always supported us in everything that we did. Aunt Squirty says the only problem with the clubhouse in the hood is too many criminal types will hang around that will give you a bad name. No, not in a motorcycle club, because we determine who hangs out in our clubhouse. Oh boy, Mad Dog says a clubhouse just complicates life. And that is absolutely true. I know motorcycle clubs that won't have a clubhouse because they say it's too complicated, too hard to run, and we want to get out and ride. Somebody said money, 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 money. Absolutely. Yes. So I'm just about caught up now. You guys are dropping them in fast today. Let's see. And here was a big, I believe all of us are collective. We all move and watch people together. I believe we are the new definition of the set. I think so. The set has absolutely changed and is changing. There were clubs that we never used to speak to before that you would never imagine being in their clubhouse. And yet we've been there. So, absolutely. Did anyone answer my last trivia question correctly? They did. But I said that, didn't I? I'm not behind. Listen, am I behind on the questions? Only assume most of you live in and around cities. Here in Iowa, with smaller towns, we ride town to town when bar hopping. Yeah, Lee Leland. I'm not as familiar with that. I do have chapters out in rural areas that I really haven't gotten to much. So that's a little bit different experience for me. Triple decker is a 3-story apartment. Wow, I've never seen a 3-story apartment. Black Dragon, let me ask if the AMA never made the statement that happened with the Hollister riots, which created the term outlaw. How does that affect all outlaws? Well, it came from somewhere, this statement or the idea. There's so many statements that come out of folklore. It doesn't really affect them at all. Some kind of way they found that term, 1%er, and that's what they go by. At this point, like the AMA said, They said it's apropos, which apocryphal, something like that. Let's see. AMA states they didn't say that. Let me see. AMA created 1%er. Let's see. Let's see if they actually have a place. Every place that I read says that they said that, but if you go to the AMA thing, they will tell you, oh, let's just do AMA Wiki. How about that? American Motorcyclist Association Wiki. Maybe that's where I last saw that. Let's see. As a Native American man, the value is the tribe is your family, and you only use terms of bro or sis or so, and they have to be family. Absolutely. I'm trying to read too many things at the same time here, I think. Boy, how does that happen? That really? Wow. Okay, so we got a blank screen here. That happened to me yesterday. Let's just switch up. We'll go to we'll just go over to Outlaw and 1%er. All right, here you go. On the American Motorcycle Association Wikipedia page, they got it right here. Outlaw and 1%er. The term 1%er was coined after the 1947 Hollister riot in Hollister, California. The AMA is said to have responded that 99% of motorcyclists were law-abiding, implying that the last 1% were outlaws. The AMA now says they have no record of such a statement to the press, and they call the story apocryphal. They call the story apocryphal. 1% of motorcycle clubs are often known as outlaw motorcycle games, blah, blah, blah. So they say it's apocryphal. And I believe apocryphal means something like it really doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't affect them. Let me see. We'll do this definition here real quick.
Apocryphal.
I said it right. Apocryphal.
Apocryphal.
Of a story or statement of doubtful authenticity, although widely circulated as being true.
Apocryphal.
So, I don't know how it affects them, except to say it doesn't. They are what they are, and the story is
apocryphal.
Apocryphal. Yeah.
Apocryphal.
Yeah, absolutely. That word. Okay. What I'm asking is if they never made the statement if they never made the statements in the outlaws wouldn't have to be outlaws, but why? But we all know why they had to be outlaws. Well, that's a whole different story. And the term outlaw, I believe did come from them, but for a different reason. You were outlawed to the man. I'll do that for you guys, that whole story. But I have a video called Outlaws and 1%ers on my YouTube channel. Go look that up. And it'll explain that better to you. Black Dragon, not in the clubhouse, bit outside where the cops see him. I missed this. What are we talking about? Not in the clubhouse, but outside where the cops can see them. What are we talking about, at Squirrely? What? Okay, so who should have a key? Aha! Who should have a key to your motorcycle clubhouse? All dues-paying members in good standing. That's who should have a key. Oh boy, I know I just pissed somebody off. Woo! If everyone does their part with taking part with the clubhouse, but you know what happens. Yes, we do. Who should have a key? Again, all dues paying members in good standing should have a key. I remember we had a clubhouse and the president thought that I remember when we first started this San Diego clubhouse, I was already national president by then. So the president decided that he just wanted him and the sergeant at arms to have the key. And I was quiet. I was like, I was just quiet. I was like, oh, let him run his chapter the way he wants. That guy got so tired of people sitting at the clubhouse calling his ass up at all times of the day to come open the clubhouse that he finally took my advice and gave all dues paying members in good standing. He gave them all a key. And I was like, I had already made up keys for everybody, but I was cool. I said, let me be quiet about this and watch how this plays out. Sometimes you got to let the youngins bust their own asses. How many clubs have been torn apart from wanting to get a clubhouse and ones that don't? I personally watched it literally fold clubs. I have watched this fold clubs before. And for all the reasons I've said in this video from the very beginning. Black Dragon, I need your email address again to order your books. If you want to order my books, you need to go to blackdragonsgear.com, blackdragonsgear.com to order my books. It's better to order them there. My email address is blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com, blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com. Let's see here. Okay, so you guys are sending me so many questions, but we really got to cut it here at 1 hour and 23 minutes, I think. Don't you guys? Somebody says we have a key card and it won't work if your dues ain't paid up. I like that. I have never seen that before. I like that. I need to know how that works, bro. How much does that system cost? I like that. The only thing that would work better is a machine at the door that beeps and won't even let your ass in. You can't even sneak behind somebody else who opened the door. Oh my goodness, man. That made me that made my day, that one. If it had a Arlo Guthrie motorcycle song. Okay, now we're going to send Frost the money today. Frost, call me as soon as this is over, so I can make sure you get the money. You can give me your address, how to get you the money. We're gonna send that money to you today, so you can get your dog the surgery. I hope we've made enough. There's some more donations that came in last night. I'm not quite sure. Didn't get a chance to count it. But folks, if you have any more money to donate, 10 or 15 bucks, please send it to me so I can send it to Frost and get it the hell out of my account. I hate looking like it's like, bro, you don't have that much money in your account. What's going on is some of this is Frost's money. So don't be thinking I'm getting me a whole separate. I don't like this. It's like taking money from me. Oh my God, that's not mine. So we got to give Frost his money today for his dog to have its surgery. If you have any more money to send, 5, 10, 15, it doesn't matter. It's not a huge amount, but it is a huge amount if you don't have it. So $ Biker Prez, Prez, $ Biker Prez is my Cash App. And for those of you who don't use Cash App, you can hit me with PayPal. A bunch II at AOL.com. So that's what we're doing to make sure that we get Frost's dog taken care of. It's been about a week now, and this dog has needed this surgery, and this is way too long. So just imagine if you had been in pain for a week. So we're going to get the money to you today, Frost, and you call your surgeon up and make this happen. And Frost says okay. Well, Frost, why didn't we just use your Cash App? Damn, I didn't even think about that. We could have used your Cash App. What the hell? Then I wouldn't have to see my money go down. Okay, so Frost says his Cash App is, if you want to send, hey, if you got any more money to send, well, you can send it to Frost. Frost will let me know who you are, and I will include your name on this. But anyway, it's gonna be Frost's. Well, I lost it that fast. You guys have, wow, it's gone. Wow, I lost it that fast. What is Frost's? Okay, here it is. Oh, there it is. $. Whoa, man, that's fast. You guys are hitting me fast. $, that one guy Frost. All one word. $, that one guy Frost. Okay. So we're gonna get Frost this money today, and we're gonna pray for his dog. You know, it touches me because you guys know I've lost my baby, my dog, and man, I weep myself to sleep at night. I just it is unbelievable that I don't have him to be with me. And God dang, I missed that damn dog. So let's get Frost's dog fixed so he don't have to miss that damn dog. Man, oh man, you guys got me tearing up, man. I'm tearing up. Frost says SSW says I'm really grateful to all who have helped and donated. And Frost said thank you as well. I just went past that because it was all going so fast. Frost said, God bless everyone. Thank you. It's my daughter's dog, Karma. She cried when she heard everyone was helping. So yeah, man, everyone is helping. And tomorrow I'm going to read everybody's name, and then we're going to figure out something. Maybe we make a T-shirt or something for everybody that gave, and something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Lissa will tell me. Lissa will tell me what to do. All right, that's it, folks. I appreciate my family on here. I'm just so thankful to have you all. It's a blessing. Look, to have you all helping out, and I got to tell you, I mean, I saw the money coming across. I mean, it was one hell of a thing to see this money come across. Here you can just see what you guys have done for the dog, for the Frost dog, for the dog, for the dog, for the dog, for, look at that. Is that? So we have Michelle Frazier, thank you. We have James W. Anderson. We've got C. Ruger, Eric Foss, Nadia Love. Nadia sent us some money. Remember, you know her. She's not even a biker, and she's been following us for the longest. Thank you so much, Donald Poe, Danny Moore, Derek Warrington, Mr. Warrington, Vernon Powell, our submarine sailor brother, Geo the Great sent some money with his mean ass. Man, just so thankful, and that's just here. And people sent money. So I'm gonna get everybody's name. I know. I think Aunt Squirrely sent something. I know Lissa sent something. And I'm just to everybody's name so we don't leave anybody out. And I just want to say thank you. So it looks like Labor Day's this this week coming up, or next week. Yeah, next week Monday. Oh, which is Monday. Yeah, I knew that. And also we're going to be partying out in down in Pensacola, Florida. This Friday and Saturday we'll be partying in Pensacola. So we want you guys to come out and hang out with our party there in Pensacola. Come hang out with the Black Sabbath Nation. And we would love to see you. Let me see if I can pull that flyer up. Do I have that flyer somewhere handy? I didn't have. Yeah, there it is. Gosh, man, I'm doing all right today. So here's this flyer. We want you guys to come hang out with us in Pensacola, Florida, at the 4th Annual Black Sabbath Pensacola, Florida celebration. 4 years there. You guys know the average motorcycle club dies within 3 to 5 years. So we're at 4. We're in the sweet spot. We're hoping that we can last down there in Pensacola. We'd love if you guys come and hang out with us on Friday for our meet and greet at the Vikings Motorcycle Club, 3017 Martin Luther King Drive from 10 p.m. until, and that's in Pensacola. And then Saturday night we'll be at President Old School's farmhouse. And call me at 404-692-0336. 404-692-0336. Isn't that my number? And I will give you the address for how to get there if you're coming. 404-692-0336. I will give you the address on how to get to the Saturday party from 9 p.m. until over at the farmhouse. That's me standing right there along with the Pensacola chapter. The host hotel will be the Super 8 by Wyndham in Pensacola, 8001 Lavelle Way, Pensacola, Florida, 32526. 877-361-2508. For more information, call Vice President Snap at 850-525-2080, 850-525-2080. Sunday will be the farewell breakfast from 9 a.m. until, come hang out and have some fun. This will be September the 9th through the 11th. All right. That's it today. Man, we went way over, but we had some fun. All right, I'm Black Dragon, and I'm gonna make a smaller video, a 10-minute one of these for other folks. So I'm gonna take this all and compress this into like a 10-minute video for folks that want to see something like this and don't have an hour and 34 minutes to hang out with me, like you folks that are obviously retired or something. Aunt Squirrely says, like before you leave. Mike Ball says, great show. Thank you. Frost says, 0.0 is enough because we were in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, if you had something to give, we thank you. And if you didn't, it's really cool. Frost says his email is that one guy frost@gmail.com for anyone who wants to let us know. And my kids want to write and thank you guys with letters and emails. So send your email address to that one guy frost@gmail.com so his kids can write back and say thank you, which is really cool. Kids need to be taught things like that. Mike Ball says, yes, Black Dragon, I am retired. Yes, you are, Mike Ball. You're retired early. So you don't get to retire yet. You ain't even got enough years to be retired. Don't even be trying it. 68 years, yes, retired from my job, but not from writing. Yeah, I got you guys. I knew you guys were pensioners. All right. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. Please get over to TikTok, like me over there, Facebook, also at Black Dragon Biker TV on Instagram as well, and here on YouTube. appreciate having you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button. That helps out the channel, especially when I'm taking an hour and 34 minutes to do a program. You know, only the people that like me are going to watch this, right? Nobody else is watching this, not even 10 minutes of it. My books, President's Bible, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, all of those are available on Amazon and Kindle. So please go over there. And also blackdragonsgear.com. Get my new audio book. We're going to get back on Monday. I might take Monday off, though. It's a holiday. I'm not sure. Let me know if you want me to be here on Monday or not. But make sure to like, share, and subscribe with us. And we're here Monday through Friday. I forget. I lost my place, what I was saying. Forgive me for that. The podcast is The Dragon's Lair, Motorcycle Chaos. Please join us on our Discord link. The description of the link is in the description box below. Black Dragon at BlackSabbathMC.com. Also, I got back what I was going to tell you, and then I lost it again. That's funny. Oh yeah, the audiobook. The audiobook you can get on Audible, which is the Prospects Bible. I will have my second audiobook out within about 2 weeks, which will be the President's Bible, and we'll move that far. So Mike Ball says, just focus on the ones that love you. You worry too much about what others think, Black Dragon. Probably so. Am I that transparent? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Love you all. And it's good to see you all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day. And just remember, for those of you who think badly about me, we are not fake news.
You are fake news.
Take care, folks.
Black Dragon Biker News Network.
Biker News.
Biker News.
You can trust.
You can trust.
Biker News.
Biker News, you can trust. Biker News, you can trust. Biker News, you can trust.
Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospects Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.